So if you're a business owner, you are an entrepreneur. You know what that means? You see opportunity everywhere you look. But one of the greatest entrepreneurs ever, I would dare say, is Jay-Z. And you know what he says? Choose one. And then you can go on to the next one. But when you choose one, you've got to go deep and be the best that you can be. And until you are, you've got to stay focused in on that. Now,
JJ, the CPA is here.
this will be really directed towards those that are in the tax industry, but hang on, if you're a small business owner, you're going to learn just the same. But with this, I'm going to give an example. See, I'm a CPA. I've got my own CPA practice. And what I want you to know is this. I was overworked, tons of stress, working lots of hours, making lots of money, doing a lot of different things, okay? But what really happened that made me go, you know what? I need to make a life change here that I hope you never actually experience. Well, a couple of years ago, I had a stroke, doing well, but when I was laying in the hospital and they said, say these two numbers back to us, but backwards, couldn't do it. If somebody said to you, 5'4", what would you say it backwards as? 4'5". Couldn't do it. I weighed 110 pounds more than what I do now. But the biggest thing that they told me in the stroke unit that I hope you never hear is your stress, your practice, the things that you're doing with your day for your work is what is going to kill you. As in, you will not survive another April 15th. Believe it, okay? It wasn't just about losing the weight. It wasn't just about eating healthier. It was you must reduce the stress. Now, let's back up from there, okay? Because you're not stressed, right? No, right? Business owners, ooh, piece of cake, right? Of course, I'm having fun with you. But here's what I want you to look at. Tax practice, as my example. Right now, if you look out the window in the backyard, do you have lions and tigers and bears? Oh my. Because what I did is I looked and I was working with every kind of business that I probably could. And when I was looking out there, I thought, well, here's how I'm going to manage that. Here's how I'll manage my practice. Here's how I'll manage the lions, the tigers, and the bears. But here's the reality is you've got to decide, well, what do you want to work with? It's one or the other. And you can't just hire it, and I'm going to get to that. You can't just hire more people to handle it. That's not how you manage a successful business. Now, with this, I've already lost you if you think otherwise. But here's what I looked at was when I was deciding what kind of entity that I wanted to continue to work with, more importantly, what type of client, what I realized light bulb went off was it couldn't be about how long they'd been a client. It couldn't be about even what they pay me, believe it or not. I know the old school type of A, B, C, D client, a lot of it based on what? Revenue, potential of revenue. I couldn't look at it this way because here's what I had to do, and this is the secret to real business management, real practice management, fellow tax pros, CPAs, and EAs. You ready for this? And you're going to love it. It has to be the client that is hand in glove with you. It has to be the client that already fits your style. And I bet I could guess what it is, especially in the tax world, because we're all fairly similar, right? We've got deadlines that we're dealing with. So what is it for me? It was what clients are up to date? What clients just already keep up with their bank statements and reconciliations, getting what we need, when we need it, almost before we ask for it. Those that have their tax documents about the earliest you can in January and in February, business and then individual. Those that when we're missing and we need information, they provide it right away. We're not chasing them down. They don't bring 12 months worth of bank statements to then be done in October, right? We've all been there. They don't then say, oh yeah, I haven't entered anything into my QuickBooks in 6 months. Or, well, I tried it, I think I can do it, but now can you clean it up? And you spend more time cleaning it up than it could have even taken just to do it originally. We've all been there. But what kind of client fits with me that I had to do this? You ready for this? I had to have a practice in which I did not have to work overtime. What? How can you be in the CPA world and that be possible? Well, 2 tax seasons right underneath this belt with no overtime, no Saturday, not working past 5. And guess what else? You ready for this? I love it. I'm very proud of it. But all tax returns done were by April 15th. And I did 500 of them with my crew. I used to have 13 people. Now I've got 2 and an admin. We tackle it. We get after it. And the biggest component of all that is having a client that meets our style. And here's the thing I want you to know. There is plenty of businesses out there, right, that they would think, no, I should bring on more business. Okay. Or I just hire and I'll hire and I'll hire. So let me talk specifically to the tax professionals, EAs, and especially CPAs. What do we have with our clients? A duty. What is that duty, right? A duty of due care. Now, many of us in the tax industry, we would probably say, hey, listen, if somebody came to me and they've got a type of business that I know nothing about, I've never dealt with it. Now, maybe some are going to go, well, I'll learn. Just the same as if I went to a surgeon and I say, hey, would you go ahead and do a little brain surgery on me? And if that surgeon said, well, I've never done a brain surgery before. Normally I work on doing the surgeries on the feet and the legs, but you know what? I'll learn. We should not be trying to be that to our clients, number one. Number two, if we heard that, you most likely would go, yeah, I don't do brain surgery, and you wouldn't feel bad about it. But what also happens, though, is we then bring on clients, and we're like, yeah, I can handle that. I know how to work with this. Yeah, I know how to work with that. But then what happens, and I even didn't think of this until I had to, but we have a duty of due care with our clients to actually have time to do it properly and adequately. Now, many of us, if we're not being real with ourselves, we wouldn't be able to admit this, but we know that as we hire more and more people, then you as the owner, right, you become further away from the client, the work, the product, the service, the actual tax return. I was there, 13 people. Got to where I wasn't interacting at all. I was really just more putting out fires and making sure everybody was going along through the process. Now, am I saying that you can only have a successful practice if you only have 2 people? No, I'm not saying that. But you're making sure that we have enough time. And do we want to go to a surgeon that says, hey, you know what? First 100 days of the year, pack it in. I want to do as many brain surgeries as I possibly can. You get in here, come on in. Yeah, oh, we'll do it at midnight. Oh yeah, and I've got some other surgeons, you know, they know how to, they can manage, right? They're good, right? These aren't going to be the complicated brain surgeries. So you come on in and we're here and we're going to be working 7 days a week, good 10, 12, 13, 14 hours a day. No problem. Just pack it in, bring it and bring it. You would say, I'm not going to that surgeon. So why do we as tax professionals especially want to do that with our clients? Why? I know why. You ready? Well, because we love our clients. We want to take care of them. We think, well, who else would do it then? I'll make sure it happens. And it's not even out of a sense of arrogance. It's out of a sense of obligation. It's out of a sense of due care, right? But we have to remember due care would also include having the right amount of time to do it the best that we can and that our staff does. And that also doesn't just mean, well, even if we're getting it done at midnight, or even if I'm doing it after days and days of stress, now I'll get to that. What that means is that I have the time, I have the energy, I've had the rest to be able to do the best brain surgery I can, get to the best tax result that I can, no more and no less than the right amount of tax being paid by our client. So there are other people that can take care of the clients that I had to let go of. So doing 500 tax returns, that's a lot. And I'm just going to say it. I gross about $900,000 a year. I net about $500,000. Okay. And quite frankly, I'm very comfortable with all that. Of course, it's before tax. Again, if you have a bigger practice and you have more people, maybe more what you've got to look at though is that do they have the time to get done what needs to get done? And let's even now back out of tax season, right? because I'm kind of encroaching. I get it. I'm kind of encroaching there a little bit. And what I want you to know is this. Did you get into this business to chase deadlines? I bet the answer is no. So what is it that's then happening after tax season? We talked about tax season. Now, what about after that? What about the rest of the year, right? First 100 days or so, April 15th, right? March 15th. There's the focus. Then what is it after that? Are we just chasing more deadlines? And for why? For what? Because we think we're the only ones that could actually do that? Because we think, oh, we need to have the revenue? What we need to have is the confidence that our clients are hiring us to actually save taxes for them, to plan and strategize. And see, the kind of client that I picked wants to do that. So when I was downsizing, it wasn't based on, like I told you, revenue or how long they've been with me. It was, okay, all the things I just told you, hand in glove, but that also included that we're getting together in May and in the summer and in the fall and at year end. We're helping to keep them up to date. We're helping to look ahead. We're helping to actually plan. And guess what that requires? Time to do it. So if I continued the way I was and I'd get to the tax deadline of April 15th, what was I just doing then for the rest of the months until the next major deadline of October 15th? Helping clients take care of last year. What does that do? It takes away from all clients to be able to plan with them this year. You know how simple it is to get your clients interested in doing planning is to say, what do you think the rest of the year is going to look like? And what's that usually based off of? Numbers. And who's involved with their numbers? You. Then to say, well, what do you think that you're looking to net this year? What are you thinking you're looking to gross this year? Do we want to take a look at what that would mean for taxes? Do we want to see if there's anything we should do about it before we actually can't do anything about it, meaning the close of the year and next tax season, or waiting till the last minute? You know, there's something to be said, especially for me, of not being tired, not being overworked, to be able to have the mental capacity to actually do good planning and strategy. Not distracted, not fitting that in after. What happens when we're facing a deadline? It automatically has to become a higher priority for us. And therefore, the planning and the consulting and the advising starts to take more easily a backseat. And then what happens? Okay, I'm just going to throw this in. We're overworked, we're chasing deadlines. We're working late, we're eating late, we're eating for energy, we're forgetting to drink water, we don't have time to work out, we're not taking care of ourselves. So me, okay, I'm in a perfect spot. I may have what many would call the unicorn practice. No overtime. Everything done by April 15th. Clients that are interested. And yes, I've had my own practice for 26 years and I've been doing this for 31 years. But I sure wish I would have done this from the very beginning, because there's no reason you can't do this at any given time. So what I had to do with my clients is basically say, I allowed you to not be a client that's a fit for me. So the clients that aren't a fit for you, you then have to decide, are you going to continue to allow it? Are you going to continue to allow your client to show up at midnight and say, I need a brain surgery right now. Will you come and do that for me? Or on a Saturday afternoon or early in the morning? Because see, when our clients don't do what we need them to do, which is to get us information and to get it timely, it then puts the pressure to then get it done as we move closer to the deadline. Is that really the quality that it can be? And you're going to say, well, of course it is. But what about the other clients? What about the other clients that got it to you early? What attention do they need at the time now that these others have waited? So we have to know this. There are plenty of other practices out there that can take on your clients and would welcome them. There's not many of you, especially if you made it to here in this video, that are actually interested in a wonderful balance. And you may think that you're in for a wonderful balance, but then look around. Do you have a wonderful balance in your life? And I'm going to be a little personal. How do you feel health-wise? How are you tired? Right? Do you get to spend as much time as you want with your family? Are you feeling satisfied in your work product? in the sense of double checking your work and being able to talk with clients and have conversation and enjoy what it is that you're doing? Because if not, then it's just indicators that something's not in balance. And so if you're in balance, then your practice is in balance. If you're in good health, then your practice is in good health. So my encouragement to you is stop chasing deadlines. And you know what that's going to start with? It's going to start with stop doing deadline work that's really, as my grandfather would say, bean counting. What would that be? Sales tax, right? Clients should either be able to do that or heave-ho it to the companies that that's what they specialize in. Oh, but then they're going to have an issue or a letter. Then that probably isn't a fit for you. A client that says, no, I need you to do my sales tax. It's not a fit for you. Now, what about on payroll? Boom, ADP. Life-changing for me to stop doing payroll. Life-changing for me to go, no, you're not going to do your own payroll. These are things that my grandfather told me from the very beginning that I've been implementing a long time. Do you know this, that most practices have 5% profitability? Kelly with ADP told me about this. Astonishingly, that's about the normal net profit on that and the amount of time that it takes. So if you're doing your own payroll, ADP will buy you out. And I think you're going to be shocked at the valuation that would come back. It would be at least what it is you're grossing in a year on payroll versus your 5% profitability that would probably take you 20 years to earn that with less stress and less deadlines. If you still want to do payroll, ADP can be your back office. The technology, the security, I want you to think of those things. Do you have the security that you feel you need to not only protect your client's information, but your client's employees' information? We are rich for information for those that want to take advantage of it in the wrong way. Or you don't do your own payroll for your for your clients, right? You don't do it, but you just say, hey, we're not doing it, but you can do it. Well, getting them to somebody that's an expert, getting them all to one. So no matter which way you go, ADP takes it all. They are your back office, or they are now just in partnership with you. Here's what ADP wants to do, and you're going to think it's corny, and I'm so glad you're going to listen for at least one more minute, because this is a true statement as I have gotten to know my team, okay? Lori and TJ, and the time I've spent with Kelly and Haley, and really just hand in hand in partnership with Erica. These people actually care. This is a huge worldwide company that literally cares about you, cares about a small practice like mine. And you ready for this? They've made my life better. How can they make your life better? I want you to click on the link below. Even if you're not fully interested, I want you to talk to Erica and Haley. I want you to see how they could change your life by removing deadline work, removing bean counting. Because that's really your first step. You can't get rid of clients, okay, but then get rid of things that you really don't need to be doing. You have extra time then to just help the same clients that you don't feel you could actually ever let go of. But I'm going to tell you, it's the best feeling ever to know that your clients are being taken care of by somebody that's partnering with you, gives you access, gives you backup, gives you communication, works as a team with you. It only makes you look better, only makes you look stronger because you are. This is a company that has an amazing amount of care for the tax professional and their clients. And I want you to say, I want you to believe me, because I've experienced it firsthand. And I'm telling you right now, ADP will change your life. All right, hey, thanks for tuning in. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. And then don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me, JJ, the CPA.